Great headline in the Times back in England. City lose a football match. Of course, they will not go this season unbeaten. Stevie, let's start with you, because as a Liverpool fan, I can't imagine the emotions that you went through in that second half.
At 4-1, this is fantastic. This is what your dreams are all about against one of the top sides in Europe. But when the second City goal goes in, oh my goodness, all the nightmares start coming back about all the leads that you've given away in the last 18 months.
Yep.
And so from there on in, I'll tell you what, I was sat on the edge of my chair, biting my nails.
But in the end, they, of course, hold on. Ali, we've got a great job, no denying it. But
yeah.
in watching a lot of matches, we watch a lot of dross.
Yes.
This, as Klopp says, was the sort of match that you want to put in front of someone who maybe you're trying to encourage to enjoy the sport, because this had everything. And from a neutral's point of view, it was just so much fun.
And a lot of times we sit here previewing matches and we say, well, this is going to be a good game.
Yeah.
It should be open because both of the teams like to attack, and then we should get up to the weekend and the game doesn't live up to expectations. Well, I think this game actually surpassed expectations, because not only did you have a Liverpool team that made Manchester City uncomfortable and attacked Manchester City and created opportunities and scored goals, Manchester City kept playing. Other teams, they go down 4-1, 20 minutes to go, they say, you know what, it's not our day, forget it. They kept saying, you know what, we're going to keep playing the way that we are. We're going to be stubborn. This is the way that we're going to do things, and we're going to keep attacking. And because you have the frailties defensively from Liverpool, then they're always open for a comeback. It was excellent to watch. It was entertaining to watch. And in the end, a very well-deserved victory for Liverpool.
How did they do it, Steve?
They did it by being brave and trusting what they're good at. And what they're good at, Liverpool, is closing the ball down. And, you know, sometimes I think people forget that, you know, closing the ball down doesn't always mean that you have to win the ball. Sometimes closing the ball down is about stopping the opposition making a pass, making them go somewhere where you're strong. And that's what you saw from Liverpool. The front three, no question, were closing the ball to win it. The three behind them were closing the ball to make them go to places they didn't want to go. And that's why we never saw the front three of Manchester City, because particularly the three in the middle, but you've got to say the front three as well, the job they did closing City down when they had the ball is what made the front three of City pretty much invisible.
How much credit, you hear Klopp after the game, and in the US we saw him swearing live on air. He was so excited about the result. How much credit do you give to him, and how much does he have to trust his players to do what Stevie says? Because we talk about brave, which is sometimes a weird word to use, isn't it, in football? But they were brave because they went for it.
Yes, and to be quite honest, I don't think that Liverpool had any other choice, because what you do best puts you at risk against Manchester City. So then, do you go out of character and play a different game, or you trust that you are good enough to do what you do best and make sure that Manchester City is not in the match? Liverpool trusted what they do best. They trusted that they were going to be able to press. They trusted that they were going to be able to create turnovers. And oh, by the way, they trusted the fact that Dejan Lovren was going to hold up in the back.
Yep.
That Joel Matip were going to hold up in the back because Van Dijk was not available. And so in doing that, in saying, you know what, we're going to lean on the things that make us a good team. And we're going to hope that that's good enough. Today, that was good enough.
Gab Marcotti with us. Gab, how, as an Italian, did you cope with a 4-3? Were you okay with this?
I was okay with this because there weren't that many defensive mistakes, or rather, when there were mistakes, such as we saw City giving the ball away in midfield, it was for the reasons that Ali and Stevie explained. Liverpool did a really, really good job, I think, of pressing, of closing the ball down without losing their defensive shape. And then when you see goals flying in like that, when you see three absolutely tremendous individual finishes for that sort of 9-minute Liverpool blitz, you can only stand up and applaud, because, I mean, Klopp is right. This was fantastic to watch.
An eventful weekend in the Premier League, and I know what you're all thinking. Oh, I wonder what the best team is of the week.
I wasn't.
Here it is, in all its glory. Mariner, Nickel, and Marcotti come together, and this is it. Stevie, did everyone make it?
No.
No.
I actually had 3-5-2. I had Vertonghen, Evans, and I had Maguire from Leicester.
Yeah.
I had 5 in the middle. I had Son on the left. I had Arnautovic on the right. We can switch them over.
Okay.
I had Lanzini, Oxlade-Chamberlain, and Noble.
Right.
And I had Kane and Wilson from Bournemouth up front.
Oh, there you go.
Klopp's an easy one.
Did you have Fabianski in goal?
Yes, I had Fabianski in goal.
Gab, what's your team of the weekend like?
I think I showed a little more love to Liverpool players than Stevie did, because I had Oxlade-Chamberlain in there.
Yep.
I had Jurgen Klopp as manager, obviously,
Right. No.
even though he didn't go out and talk about how poor they were defensively after the game.
I'm changing them.
No left back stood out for me, and I wasn't gonna cheat by playing a back three and putting a winger over on the left hand
You're a
side.
cheat, Steve. Yep.
Well, part of it.
I
By
did-
the way, hold on. So you're throwing Robertson in, part of a back four that lost 3 goals. And don't say,
Goodness.
don't say none of them were down to him. Well, regardless, which some of them he could have done better, but as a unit, when you lose 3 goals as the defence, you take some of the blame because you're part of it all. All right? This easy way
You
out.
attack
playing
and defend
3.
with 11 men. Isn't that what you managers always say? Everybody's responsible.
Well, Liverpool defended with 6, by the way. The front 3, the middle 3, and the four behind them forgot all about it.
Right, so wait, how's that 6?
The front 3 in the middle 3, 6.
Right. You said they defended with 6.
So it's not their
Correct.
fault.
Right.
Because the back 4 and the goalkeeper let 3 goals in. So how good were they?
I have no idea where this is going.
Well, you asked the question.
How did they defend with 6?
Because the other 5 were not defending, were they?
But
They
so
lost
what-
3 goals.
So what were the midfield? So the defenders were the midfield and
front
the
3 and the middle 3 is 6.
Yeah, so,
So they were defending with 6 because the other 5, which is the back 4 and the goalie, forgot to defend.
so what were the front 6 doing? They were the defenders.
Shut up. Gav's the one that brought up
What? You brought
whole
up
team.
6.
defending.
The 3 and the 3. And the 3 and the 3.
Hey, listen.
And the 5.
If it's too complicated for you, we'll get somebody else to ask the question.
Get
How's
some
that?
sort of abacus for
Yeah.
me. That'd be lovely.
Yeah, right.
And why Fabianski in goal?
Because it really was, it was tough.
Courtois, Schmeichel, did they not deserve a shout?
Listen, had it been one of them, I wouldn't have argued with
Right.
you. I just don't think there wasn't a pure outstanding goalkeeper, but listen, Swansea need all the points they can get, and he made a couple of saves. So.
All right. Okay, on that point, we will say goodbye. ESPN FC and our abacus, it will be with you throughout the week. FA Cup replays this week.
Oh, hey.
6 p.m. Eastern on ESPN News. Dortmund can only manage a 0-0 draw against Wolfsburg, and the big talking point from that game was the fact that Aubameyang wasn't included in the squad. This was a depleted squad in the first place. Big illness going through Dortmund. It finishes 0-0. And we're hearing now reports, Gab, that he didn't play because he could be on his way to Arsenal.
Yeah, Dortmund manager Peter Stöger coming out and saying again that Aubameyang, needs to mature, needs to grow up. I think this is the 3rd time this season, if I'm not mistaken, that for disciplinary reasons he's missed games. And look, as people tried to peddle him everywhere all of last summer, I think they see the opportunity with Arsenal, obviously with Alexis Sanchez, possibly Mesut Ozil as well on their way. As I understand it, though, from Arsenal's end, remember they're also chasing Malcolm, the winger from Bordeaux, who's going to cost a pretty penny as well. And I'm also not 100% sure. Aubameyang these days is a center forward. They obviously already have Lacazette and Giroud. So I don't know how much of this is Aubameyang's people kind of driving the situation.
What do you think, boys? Does this make sense? It's interesting looking at his numbers, 21 goals in 23 games. I feel like we haven't talked about him much with regards to his scoring this season, but it's still pretty prolific.
Yeah, listen, he's. The thing that worries me is why would they bring him in with never mind Giroud? Why are you going to spend that amount of money bringing somebody like him in who has a bad disciplinary record when things are going well? And if he's not going to play, which you want, because you got to, for me, you play Lacazette.
Lacazette's a better player?
I think he suits Arsenal better than Aubameyang.
He's not at the moment, though, is he?
Well, he's not. He's playing in a team that can't create a chance. So regardless of what the name of the back of your jersey, if you're centre forward for Arsenal right now, you're not going to be scoring a hat full of goals. But if you've got a guy like Aubameyang who's got disciplinary problems and he's not playing, you're asking for trouble.
Liverpool versus Manchester City. Paul Mariner here with me for reaction. Maras, we expected high-pressing football. We expected goals. We expected a lot of attacking prowess, and we got that, except for, according to our predictions, we expected City to come away with the points. Your overall thoughts on the game that was really exciting?
It was. I mean, talk about an advert for a league. It's unbelievable. I mean, the level of performance from all the players was fantastic. The crowd, every aspect of a top football match, it was there for all to see today.
I mean, you just said it at 4-1. We didn't think it was over, and I mean, the fact that City could fight back really shows why they are so close to becoming Premier League champions.
Well, I mean, we were laughing to each other, weren't we? So there's no way that this game is over, and you could see that everybody's heart was in their mouth, all the Liverpool fans. I just thought that the way the game kicked off, I thought Liverpool were absolutely sensational. But I always thought, can they keep it going? And they did keep it going. They sort of tired a little bit, not so much leg-wise, but certainly with the mentality. They just lost a bit of concentration late on.
What was so effective for Liverpool then? Because we already know the wonderful qualities that Manchester City have. So what worked so well for Liverpool, you think, today?
Two things for me. Complete team performance. Every player performed up to their levels. But the three midfield players, Oxlade-Chamberlain, Wijnaldum and Chan, I thought they were absolutely ridiculous in the middle of that part. When you look at that starting back four, I'm sure that the City players said before the game, we can get at this back four, lads. You just have a look at it. No Van Dijk today, young fullback Gomez, and then Robertson. I think we can get after these. But they couldn't get at the back four, purely and simply because the forwards were dropping in, and the protection in front by those three, Oxlade-Chamberlain, Chan and Wijnaldum, was absolutely phenomenal. And
quickly, just because you said that every player for Liverpool did work their little behinds off, what about the goalkeeper? Because that was a big point coming in. No Simon Mignolet, Karius in there, probably becoming the #1 goalkeeper for Liverpool now, but he was beaten at his near post at the first.
That was poor. Well, Gomez didn't cover himself in glory. Look, Sané gets the ball. Which foot is he going to shoot with? Everybody in the wall knew he wanted to. He was tight, but he wanted to get on his left foot, and he did so. And he put it in such a narrow gap there. Goalkeepers always question themselves when they get done at the near post. But when you look at the game overall. 1-0 to Liverpool, great goal from Oxlade-Chamberlain. Then City get back into it. They get the equaliser. They come out in the second half, and we're actually the better side. For the first 10, 12 minutes or so, 15 minutes or so, you thought, OK, City are going to take this game up. And then a little bit of overplay, but great high press from Liverpool, and they scored fantastic goals. I mean, for me, it's debatable whether he fouled John Stones. I personally don't think he did. I think that he did what every centre forward does. He just gives him a little bump. It was nothing. Stones has got to be stronger there. And then the chip. Oh my goodness. I mean.
So much to talk about in this one game. Indeed, unfortunately, we are running out of time. But Jurgen Klopp loves him some rock and roll football. That's exactly what we saw today, and it paid off for Liverpool. Paul Mariner is joining me, and he's putting on a very brave face because we have to talk about Arsenal. And same old Arsenal, the woes continue, this time losing to Bournemouth. If we have a look at the Premier League standings as they are after today's fixtures there, you will see Arsenal in 6th, 8 points off the top Maras. Now, I almost want to say just 8 points with the woeful way that Arsenal have been playing lately.
I couldn't believe the performance today. I really couldn't. Look, you've not got to be a genius to work out that the back three is absolutely dreadful. Mustafi, who's a senior player there, he's always going down his backside. He's always diving in. So the kids alongside him, how can they possibly learn that he puts them in jeopardy all the time, Mustafi, for an experienced international footballer. You look at the table. You know that Arsenal have conceded more goals than West Bromwich Albion, who are second bottom of the table.
Shocking.
It is shocking, and they're not exactly banging goals in for fun, the Arsenal. So to me, I was infuriated. You know, I mean, we're laughing and we're joking between ourselves because we obviously support different sides. But they were hapless, they were rudderless, there was no leadership. Wilshere did okay. Everybody was saying he was playing brilliantly. I thought he was okay. But when you look at Lacazette is a good footballer. He's a goal scorer. When he came to Arsenal, he must have been licking his lips thinking, I'm going to play with Ozil, I'm going to play with Sanchez. And today he's playing with Welbeck and Aubameyang.
But he didn't do that much to help himself either.
No, but as a centre forward, you need the service.
Yeah.
Look, if you're a goal scorer, you need supply. Where was the supply? Occasionally coming maybe from Bellerin on the outside. But this Arsenal side is, not to be too blunt, they are absolutely useless. They're dreadful. You know, it's just a fact of life.
And you could, I shudder to think that it's only going to get worse now if you do end up losing Sanchez and Ozil.
But why would they stay, Lex? You know, where is this club going? You know, if they do go, which I think they will go, who are they going to attract? They're not going to be in Champions League. Who are they going to attract? They're going to have to spend 60, 70, 90, 100 million, whatever number that top players go for. A, they're not going to go, and B, you're going to have to pay more money. So why don't you try and keep your best players? That's why all the Arsenal fans are going crazy on the sidelines today. I mean, social media is going absolutely berserk. You know, it's worrying. It's a concern. Yeah, they've got some injury concerns. As soon as Koscielny goes out of that defence, it's panic stations. So on the flip side, we saw an incredible game of football at Anfield today. And then down on the south coast, you know, credit to Bournemouth, credit to Eddie Howe. He changed his tactics. You know, was 1-0 down, got in the ascendancy, and won the game. It's a great day for Bournemouth, but it's a dreadful day for Arsenal.
Shocking indeed. I guess we'll just end it right there so we stop heaping salt into Paul Mariner's wounds. But Bournemouth had more shots on target than Arsenal in this one and more goal attempts. So that in and of itself just basically tells you the state that Arsenal are currently in.
Let's just take a look at how bad the defending champions have been. Fewest points in 18 games since 2005-2006. First time they've lost back-to-back games at the Santiago Bernabéu League since 2009. Held scoreless in consecutive home games for the first time since 2007. They've dropped 22 points this season. Last year, when they won the league, they just dropped 21. It has been a massive fall from grace. And the front page of Marca says, inexplicable. Meanwhile, Mundo Deportivo, the Catalan newspaper, loving it, in crisis. Derrumbados, tumble indeed. No goals, no luck, and no explanation, says the front page of AS. Toni Kroos trying to explain what's going on, took to Twitter, and he tweeted this. He came out and said, it's true that this is a difficult time for us and all Madridistas, but everybody who says we played a bad game today has no idea about football. It was a good performance, and we have to continue. Still a lot to win this season.
The problem is that it doesn't matter whether it was a good performance, a bad performance, an okay performance. It doesn't matter because you're 19 points behind Barcelona. So you cannot give yourself any sort of pat in the back. There is no moral victory. That doesn't exist for a club like Real Madrid. It doesn't exist for Toni Kroos. It doesn't exist for Zinedine Zidane. At home, against Villarreal, in a match that you have to win for many different reasons, if nothing else, because of the pressure on Zinedine Zidane. You play well in the first half, and then there are opportunities to score. You have to score. And Stevie's right. You're Cristiano Ronaldo. In a moment of crisis for Real Madrid, you have to be the guy that puts the team on the shoulders and scores the opportunities that are there to be scored. You don't, then you open yourself up for trouble. And oh, by the way, it is, if you say, okay, fine, we played well, the ball didn't want to go in, okay, then you end up 0-0. It's still a struggle, but you end up 0-0 at the worst. The goal by Villarreal comes from a Real Madrid corner kick. Straight from a corner kick, counter-attack, 2 passes is a goal. That is unacceptable. I don't care what team you are. The mistakes being made by Real Madrid are the sort of mistakes that is a bottom of the league sort of team. That's the way they're playing. And at their talent level, that's unacceptable.
We were talking about this game before, Steve, and I said, oh, no, Real Madrid looked better in the first half. And you gave me one of those, you don't know what you're talking about, Dan looks.
Well, for me, the only real chance where you can turn around and say that should have been a goal was Ronaldo one-on-one with the keeper. The other ones are, we're showing 35-yard shots. We're showing a free kick that deflected. We're calling about a penalty that Isco was offside. Okay, I said the Bale header should have been a penalty. So you go into half-time, 0-0, and you've still got another 45 minutes to show what you're capable of. Nothing.
That was the weird thing. Well, what happened in the second half? Because it just felt like the momentum had completely been taken out of the game.
Well, you can sense that this is a team with a whole lot of doubt. And so when things are going well and you're feeling good about yourself and you're creating opportunities, you're like, okay, all right, we're doing okay, we're doing fine. And then all of a sudden it's still 0-0. And then all the things that you haven't been able to do throughout the course of the season start piling up again. And so you saw a nervous Real Madrid in the second half, fragile Real Madrid, and doubt all over the place. And the same expression by Cristiano Ronaldo time and time again, every time that the ball goes out of bounds.
Yeah.
That doesn't solve the problem.
I want to talk about Cristiano Ronaldo because take a look at these stats. These are the most shots, top 5 European leagues. You look at Ronaldo, 94 shots, and he has scored 4 goals. A 4 out of 94 conversion rate from the Ballon d'Or. How does that happen?
Well, he's lost a little bit of sharpness, and when you do that, it cuts down on your time to be able to decide what you're going to do. It makes it harder to get your feet in the right place in order to put the ball where you want to put it. And then when you start thinking about it, even the best players, when they're struggling, start thinking about it. Football players are at their best when they're playing naturally, when they're not thinking about it, when they're confident. This guy, along with the rest of his teammates, by the way, are absolutely lacking in any sort of confidence whatsoever.
Bale hauled off in the second half. We'd never see that for Ronaldo, obviously, because it's Ronaldo and the repercussions would be deep in the locker room. Should he be drawn? Are we getting to that stage?
It's getting to the point to where what is he doing for you on the field? Right now, you ask the question, is he helping us? And if you're Cristiano, it feels like he has to be out on the field. He has to be the guy. He has to be the leader. He has to be the one that puts the team on the shoulders. And it's not happening. There's a real lack of leadership in this team on the field and off the field.
Quickly, Stevie, would you drop him?
I wouldn't drop him because I've got nothing else to replace him with that's any good.